Hey, welcome to this practice for upper body strength. So this is a hatha practice, a yoga practice for upper body strength. We're going to warm up the spine with a few rounds of cat-cow breath. So if you will meet me in tabletop position, so onto your hands and your knees. And if your knees are sensitive, roll up the back of your mat once or twice, a little extra padding there. And check that your knees are underneath your hips and shoulders are lining up over the elbows and over the wrists. And turn this way. And we inhale, tip the tailbone up towards the ceiling and get that curve in the low back. It continues up the spine. Lift the back of your ceiling, lift the back of your head to the ceiling and lift your chin. Don't get it yet. Exhale, tuck your tail between your legs, push the floor away, tuck your chin towards the heart. Good. Inhaling into your cow. Exhaling up into cat. But if the breath goes the other way, don't stress out about it. Good, holding up in that last cat shape. Punch the spine up towards the ceiling. And then push your seat back towards your heels. Active child's pose. So the arms are lifted off the mat and even the palms are up on your fingertips. And feel a stretch underneath the arms. Maybe feeling the arms work a little bit. Two more breaths. Wonderful, and then we're going to flow between your child's pose. You bring your palms back down. Inhale, come forward, modified plank. Exhale, push back. So keeping weight on the wrists here to stress that upper body, stress the wrist joints, strengthen them. And now adding that plank, we're going to get some core into it. Permission to keep doing this modified version, or if you'd like to join me, next time you're in your modified plank, curl the toes under and lift the knees up off the mat so you're in a long plank. And here we'll flow between this long plank and exhale back into downward facing dog. Two more cycles, whichever you're choosing to do. Perfect. I'm going to pause back into my long plank so I can get into a side plank. Okay, so I'm going to bring my left hand underneath my face, open up, rotate to the outside edge of that left foot, side plank here. You can bring that bottom knee down if you want to be in modified, but 5 breaths. Top foot could also be out in front, so you're staggering your feet, a little more stabilizing. Two more breaths. Good. Bring that bottom knee down if you haven't already. Lower all the way down to whatever side you're on. I was on my left. We're going to do some tricep push-up. Float your legs up into chair position. So knees are stacked. They're bent at about a 90-degree angle. This bottom arm, I need to just get it out of the way. So bring it up by my shoulder, my collarbone. Other hand right in front of your face. We'll do 6 tricep push-ups. So exhale, big push-up, straightening that front arm. And come down. Good. 5 more. And 3. Last one. There, and we're going to swing around to the other side, do our side plank and those tricep push-ups on the second side. I'm beginning with my front plank. Bring the right hand a little more underneath my face, and then open up, rotate up, open, outside edge of the right foot. Maybe the top foot is even staggering. Keep lifting from below here. Few more breaths. Well done. Let's bring that bottom knee down if you haven't already and lower all the way down. So we're coming down carefully into our tricep push-ups on the other side. Float those legs up, chair position, bottom arm, get it out of the way. Other hand right in front of your face. 6 tricep push-ups, second side. Good. Exhale as you push up. Use that. Help yourself up. Last one, 6, excellent, and then roll all the way onto your belly. Go this way, hope I can still be seen. Do a few things here on the belly. First will be cobra. So you bring your fingers in line underneath your shoulders. Begin with your forehead on the mat. Inhale, peel nose, or peel forehead, nose, chin off the mat, and then you come up. I can still have some bend in my elbows. Pull your head out of your turtleneck. Legs are about hip width distance apart, wider if you have back issues. Exhale, chin, nose, forehead comes down. You can stack your hands, rest your forehead there. Maybe you like to bend up your knees, windshield wipe the legs side to side. You can do cobra again, or I am going to go into upward facing dog. Okay, same position to start. Hands underneath your shoulders, legs are about hip width distance apart. Inhale, push up to cobra, or come all the way up to straight arm for upward facing dog. You can be on the tops of your feet for upward facing dog, or keep the thighs down. Good, bring the knees, thighs, hips, ribs, chest down, and rest again. Good, let's zip the legs together. Bring the arms alongside the body, palms are touching your mat. When you're ready, and keep your neck nice and long here. Inhale, lift up as much as you can off the mat. Legs, arms, chest. Variation of locust pose. Good, hands underneath your shoulder, release the legs. Push your way up to a tabletop, downward facing dog, and we're gonna stand up. Bring your hands and feet towards one another. And carefully, maybe use those legs and work your way back up, standing up nice and tall. Good. And perhaps the back of the mat, let's keep it nice and easy. I'll go over here in the back of the mat, take a generous step forward with the left foot. Back foot is still down on the mat, so it's kind of slightly turned out. We're going to go into a warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1. Hands onto your hips, bend that front knee. See if you can bring your right hip forward a little bit more, so squaring the pelvis, squaring the hips. No permission to keep your hands on your hips, or I'm hoping you'll take your arms overhead. So that expression of warrior 1. But because this is upper body strengthening, we're going to make our own resistance. I want you to imagine you're pulling down some ropes through really thick, wet concrete overhead. Pull it down, engage the upper back muscles, good. And return, another 5. Last one. Good, back up. Catch the hips, push off that back foot, bring it towards the top of your mat, feet are hip width distance apart. Good, palms in front of the heart now, Anjali Mudra. Exhale, push the seat back, chair pose, push your hands into one another. Remember, you do an isometric contraction for the chest muscles, and again, maybe you're feeling that on your upper back, and your legs are working too, I know. Weight is in the heels here. And breathe, good job. Can you push those palms in a little harder? The last couple breaths, I think so. Good job. Drop the arms, straighten the legs, maybe shake out the legs a little bit. And now we take a generous step back with the left foot. Keep that right foot at the top of the mat. Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1 on the second side. Bend into that front knee, hands on your hips. Bring that left hip forward a little bit more. Good, and then let's bring those arms up. 6 more of those pull downs. Resist, okay? Don't make it too easy. Two more, well done. Good, drop the arms, push that front foot back towards the back of your mat. We're gonna come down through an inch warp so we can bring a little more weight again onto those wrists. Slide the hands down. If you need to bend your knees, go ahead, but you gotta get your hands to the mat and then walk them forward. Hold there in that high plank for a moment or two. Good, release the knees. We're going to go into dolphin. Dolphin is a great strengthener for the shoulders. It's a good prep if you're not going into headstand, but you want to work towards that, or maybe that's as far as you ever get, that's okay. Similar muscles used. You can interlace your fingers together. Bring your head down to the mat. And then those interlaced fingers are right behind your skull. Keep the elbows underneath your shoulders. We're imagining that we would get into headstand. You wouldn't want your elbows out of line from the shoulders. Keep those elbows underneath your shoulders. Toes are curled under. And then when you're ready, lift the knees off the mat. So dolphin's kind of a hybrid between a forearm plank and a downward facing dog. Good, exhale, knees come down. Rest in a child's pose for a moment. Just like headstand, you don't want to come up too quickly after that. While the blood's rushed down into your head. Give it a moment, reset. And then we'll swing the legs around. Bring your foot soles to the mat, hands behind you. Fingers are pointing towards your seat as best as you can. Some people have tight shoulders and maybe they don't go all the way there, but we're doing the best we can. We're going to inhale, lift the seat up. Coming into crab pose. This is a modifier. I've shortened my lever. If you want a little bit more, straighten one leg, straighten the other leg. Toes are aiming towards your mat into reverse incline plane. Gaze to the ceiling or your navel. Pull your head out of your turtleneck for one more breath. Good, quiet pose. Bring the seat down. Arms can circle under the legs or around. Oh, let it all go. Good. We're going to come down to our backs to work the core a little bit more. I do include core, well, pretty much all the time, but lower body and upper body, something we always have to work on. All right, coming on down to your back. Reclining crow and revolve crow. Crow is a hand balance, an arm balance. We're going to take the balance out of it and still work all the same muscles. Okay, let's bring the feet up into chair position. Keep the inside edge of your feet glued together. Open the knees out, kind of a happy bound angle. Lift the head and shoulders off the mat. Reach both your arms through the legs. Bring your legs and your elbows into one another. Push them into one another. Okay? And flex the hands back just like we were balancing on those hands. You can feel your core working, arms, legs as they're pushing into each other. Co-recruiting. Co-contracted, good. And breathe if you can. Good, exhale, hug those knees into the chest, release the head and shoulders back down. If you want to massage your sacrum, you can rock side to side or circle the knees. Good, and then the revolve. This time keep your legs all zipped together and they kind of have a 90-degree bend in the knees or so. Lift the head and shoulders up. We'll bring both the arms to the outside of that right leg. Press your left arm and the right leg into one another. Revolve crow. Lift up for one more breath, a little higher. Good, and reprieve again, knees into the chest, maybe rock it out. And we'll do that other side. Keep those legs zipping together, lift the head and shoulders up, arms outside of the left leg, or switch to the other side if you've already done that one. Press that arm and leg into one another. You're making your own resistance. Good, exhale, knees into the chest, and then a full body stretch. Arms overhead, legs are long, and then release that. Let's soak that in. A couple minutes here, let all that work integrate into the body. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, you may close your eyes for the next couple minutes. If you'd like to stay here a little while longer, stay where you are, no need to move. But if you have to get moving, we'll bring the foot soles to the mat. And roll onto your preferred side. You can use that top hand and push your way up to your seat, and we'll seal our practice. Thank you for joining for this short but I think effective, and you could do this more than once, but upper body strengthener. Until we see each other again, namaste.